In Israel, there is a growing trend, one that might surprise you: anti-Zionism. Yes, anti-Zionism is on the rise in Israel, especially among the ultra-Orthodox Israeli population there. The ultra-Orthodox community makes up 10% of the 8 million population of Israel, and the situation is kind of getting out of hand too. And as recently as May of this year, anti-Zionist demonstrators attacked firefighters responding to a blaze in the ultra-Orthodox neighborhood of Mia Sharim in occupied Jerusalem Al-Quds. Also in May, ultra-Orthodox Jews set fire to an effigy of an Israeli soldier to cheers and claps from the audience. In another incident which also happened earlier this year, an Israeli soldier was attacked by a mob of ultra-Orthodox Jews during a rally. This animosity towards Israel and what it stands for is not new, but it is growing. Anti-Zionists believe that the establishment of any Jewish state, even by religious Jews, is an affront against God and a rebellion against the divine decree of exile. The anti-Zionism sentiment is not only gaining support in Israel, but also among diaspora Jews across the world. Several years ago in 2014, diaspora ultra-Orthodox Jewish leader Rabbi David Feldman wrote that we want Jews to dismantle Israel peacefully to be replaced by a state run by non-Jews with equal rights for all citizens.
לנו לאורך הרבה שנים הייתה לפעול לטובת שוויון, ואחד הדברים שמאוד מאוד חשובים בשוויון של הציבור החרדי זה העובדה שהציבור החרדי הוא בעצם ציבור מאוד עני, הוא מודר ממקורות התעסוקה, אגב מתרחש בו אי שוויון מאוד מאוד קיצוני בין גברים לנשים, שזה דבר שאנחנו מאוד משתפים עליו פעולה. החוק הזה הוא ישראבלוף, הוא לא תורם לשום דבר, הוא לא תורם.
This is a long and complicated story. There are ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel, and there's a more sort of extreme part of that group of people who feel that the state of Israel should not have been founded because they believe in a messianic version of Zionism, which is that the state of Israel should only be founded once the Messiah comes. So these more extreme folks are opposed to the state and all of its state institutions. And they feel that the main role of the Hasidic or the Haredi, they're called Haredim, these ultra-Orthodox Jews, is to do Torah study. And that's how they're going to keep the Jewish people strong and true to their cause. So they are opposed to what I would call political Zionism, which is the Zionism involved in founding a state. And so they're ideologically in opposition to the dominant form of Zionism that is practiced in Israel. And they find all sorts of ways to have an argument with that.
One group that is leading this trend is the Neturei Karta, which is founded by a group of Orthodox Jews in Jerusalem back in 1938. It describes itself as International Jews United Against Zionism. It opposes the existence of Israel, believing it contravenes the Talmudic principle that Jews shouldn't use human force to bring about a Jewish state before the Messiah's arrival. Zionism is the belief that Jewish people should have their own nation on land historically known as Palestine. The movement gathered support through the early 20th century, and Israel was incepted in 1948 in Palestine. Right from the start, Haredi Jews, known as ultra-Orthodox Jews, voiced their opposition. Not only do they feel the rise of secularism, they also believe that Jewish people shouldn't have won their state before the coming of their Messiah. To this day, they maintain this opposition towards Israel. Now, the battle against Israel and Zionism has just begun among Jews. The most heated issue is Israel's insistence that ultra-Orthodox community be drafted into the military, something that is a red line for this conservative community that does not recognize Israel.
אנחנו קרובים מאוד לפעילות מסוג אחר, פעילות שתכלול מכות עוצמתיות מאוד. אם יש לו שכל, החמאס יפסיק את האש ואת ההתפרעויות האלימות עכשיו.
That was in October 2018, and the situation was never settled. In fact, the draft military bill did not only not pass, but was also one of the main factors in the collapse of the Israeli regime at the time, forcing Netanyahu to dissolve parliament and hold elections. But even after the elections in April 2019 and the results which put Netanyahu's party and political alliances in first place, he couldn't come up with a majority coalition, thus parliament ended up dissolving itself, meaning another round of elections. This means that the draft military bill is still up in the air.
לא יכולים לפרק ממשלה בגלל חוק הגיוס. אתם חלק מהעם הזה, אתם תיקחו חלק מהנטל הזה. זה לא ייפול על קומץ מסוים כי אתם רוצים לשבת כל היום. ונגיד שבאמת צריכים ללמוד תורה, אבל לא מיליון לומדים תורה. תהיו אמיתיים. 100,000, 200,000 בסדר, לא מיליון לומדים תורה. שהשאר יקומו וילכו לעבוד, וילכו לעשות.
בינתיים אני רוצה עוד לבדוק אם זה... בגיל 18 נבחר אם אני רוצה להתגייס או לא. בינתיים זה דחייה שאני רוצה עוד לבדוק. אם שווה לי ללכת לשם או לא.
מה אומרים לך?
אומרים לי לא להתגייס.
לא תואם להתנהלות של הציבור החרדי. חד וחלק. המדינה לא תואמת עם הציבור החרדי. הציבור החרדי לא מאמינה במדינה, והם לא יכולים להתגייס כי הם לא מאמינים במדינה.
That it's partly this ideological battle about whether Israel is a legitimate state of the Jewish people or whether we should be waiting for the Messiah to come, and then somehow it'll all be different. But the big trigger point has been around serving in the army, and that's created a lot of extremist violence by the ultra-Orthodox Jews against the symbols of the Jewish state, whether it's soldiers or fire departments or whatever they're attacking, because they've become a much more radical element within society and also a much more violent element within society. So I think that the issue of serving in the army, making ultra-Orthodox serve in the army, punishing them if they don't, is the trigger point for this.
Despite frequent crackdowns on the marginalized community, the ultra-Orthodox society continues to shun Israeli values. A study by the Israeli Democracy Institute found that 83% of ultra-Orthodox Jews did not consider Israel's inception date to be a festive day. Also, 64% of ultra-Orthodox community do not mourn Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day. Moreover, 55% of Netanyahu's Likud party prefers a ruling coalition without ultra-Orthodox Jews involved, according to a survey by the Hiddush organization. As Israel continues unfavored domestic and foreign policy, growing opposition to Zionism will continue to be the trend throughout the foreseeable future, according to observers. A bigger threat here is Israel's retaliation against those who oppose its views from within society and what that can mean for them.